think you have anything to an amendment you want to make on the. I think so. You have your statement for. Oh, okay. I think it's okay. I think let's start our meeting. I would like to request our clerk to lead us into short prayer. Clerk.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Thank you. Just have some introduction. County officer, you introduce your members. Put on your microphone. Put on the microphone.
We are from Lira University. My name is Agustino Yangatobo. I'm the accounting officer.
Thank you.
I'm Francis Adrapi, Deputy Bursar.
Saint Pagama Godfrey, Senior Procurement Officer.
Put on your microphone.
Sasha Nathan Hakobi, University Basa.
Ajola George Richard, Senior Internal Auditor.
Apelima Rahim, Senior Human Resource Officer.
Okay. Can I have a technical team?
I'm Kena Moses, Senior Legal Officer on the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruth Uwizei. I'm an economist attached to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tumubaze Arnold, Accountant General's Office attached to this committee.
Good morning. I'm Catherine Katano, an auditor of the Auditor General. Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosette Nalusiba from Auditor General's Office.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Jody Narushinze, a Senior Auditor of the Office of the Auditor General. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Justine Kalimbe, Senior Research Officer attached to this committee.
Good morning, Chair. I'm Detective Inspector Chamlabi Janat, CID attached to the committee.
Honorable Chair, I'm Detective Sergeant Mr. Zanasan, CID Officer attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Jean Kabibi, Technical Assistant attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Detective Assistant Inspector of Police, Oloch Maikon, CID Officer attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My names are Emao Mikaya, a technical attached to PAC.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Gilbert Ainomjisha. I'm the clerk to the committee.
Thank you. My name is Oken Pipi Ujara. I represent the people of Chua West, Kibdum District, and I will be the one chairing this meeting. We are going to expect other colleagues to join us, and we hope we will be able to proceed from there effectively. This is not your first time. The other time we were Lira, I remember we had an interaction, and there were some pending issues which I think we requested you to submit some documents. I hope you have done that, accounting officer. The documents that were requested for. Did you all this with that? We'll leave your microphone on. We are now going to start off. Just leave your microphone on.
Yes. So I think after our meeting, then we had another meeting in Lira. All the documents that were needed we had submitted.
Okay. I think that's okay. We are going to have, as I said, other members joining us. People are really quite busy. You know, our period now is not correct. Also with the coronavirus. So whatever we shall be able to do here, I think during the time of writing the report, other members will be able to contribute. Those who will have not attended this meeting. So let us take this meeting seriously, and we'll definitely be able to move on without any problem. So I'd like to invite you to say something about COVID-19. You leave your microphone on, don't switch it off. That should be permanent.
Okay.
Chair, and I'd like to invite you take tea. There's tea, coffee, water. Feel free, members from Lira University. Just enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
As we move with the meeting. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Chair and honorable members, I had produced some copies of this impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the operation of Lira University. I hope you, Chair, you have a copy.
Yeah, go ahead.
As said, the pandemic came suddenly, so that by 18th of March, we were able to close the college. So the following were made. The first one is that the teaching and training was suspended. So we asked the students to go home. Number two, because of the abrupt effect of the suspension of transport, some students got stranded. 100 students were stranded in the college, in the university. Number three, the university formed a task force which was also given to the Lira District Council. We developed a standard operating procedure, and then this standard operating procedure was eventually adopted by all, I think it was our main submission, it was eventually adopted by all the universities in Uganda. There was a procurement of protective equipment. This was not budgeted, but we had to squeeze some money to design into millions of shillings, but we managed to get the protective gears, especially for the hospital staff. The university teaching hospital remained operational, but because of the transport and the rest, we had to accommodate the nurses and the doctors within the university for a period of more than a month. The budget, NRA and AIA collection of both tuition fee and the hospital user were highly affected. Students just left, they did not pay. So, it is worth noting that the first quarter non-wage recurrent expenditure limit that usually cater for semester requirement and of the public universities has been suppressed and shall be released when the universities resume the normal operation. As a result of this, the university is not in a position to pay for the following. 1, 10% of the NSS expenses. We have paid our staff this week, and the 10% is supposed to be submitted to NSF by the 15th, by 15th of next month. Number 2, the utilities, electricity and the water, they are affected. The drugs and the medical supplies for the teaching hospital. Fuel and lubricants, travel inland, like a meeting like this, and research, and among others. And finally, there was the internal internet connection. We usually pay about 80 million to Reno to connect us for 1 year. We pay in July, and I think on the 30th they are going to disconnect us for using the Reno, and the whole internet will not be there in the university. Lastly, I wish to state that with the continued closure of the academic institution, the National Council of Higher Education has given guidelines for adoption of the emergency opening of distance and e-learning, that is ODEL system. And Lira University, we had sent a team to go to Makerere to make a benchmarking, Makerere, and send to Nakawa. And all these things need a lot of money. At the back page, if non-wage recurrent is not released, the operations resume. It may be difficult to procure the infrastructure necessary for the training through the ODEL system. The purpose of this letter is therefore to give you a brief update on how the university has been affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Accounting Officer. I would like to understand the University Teaching Hospital. How are you operating this University Teaching Hospital? How are you operating without the support of the government?
We have just started this financial year.
This financial year?
We ended, so it's about the money.
You said even during this COVID-19
the money
operating? You said even during this COVID-19 the University Teaching Hospital has been operating?
Yeah, there was the fact it was serving many. The University Teaching Hospital is in the
you get the supplementary Parliament approved to help the university to operate.
Yeah, we got.
So there's a regional referral later. Then there's also teaching hospital.
Teaching hospital.
So you got some money from the Ministry of Health.
We also have the collection from the
people.
From the people, and then we use it.
So, but you got the supplementary.
We got some supplementary.
How much did you get?
Yes.
How much did you get? No, during the COVID-19, during this COVID-19.
During the COVID-19, the university only got supplementary to cater for wages, but there was no fund.
There was no funds specifically directed to.
No.
So have you been handling COVID-19 cases in the teaching hospital?
No. It is a regional hospital that handles.
So how have you been collaborating with the regional? How have you been coordinating your activities?
Our staff in the task force, our doctors were in the task force of Lira University.
Okay, the members of the task force.
And then the consultants in Lira, our hospital, helping the regional referral hospital.
Okay.
But we have been running the hospital.
So you have not received any patient or suspect? Do you do testing? Do you do what do you do for this?
That is the work of the referral hospital. For us, we are just treating normal patients.
Oh, okay.
But what is that we had to buy in very expensive protective gear because you cannot be sure of the whom you are going to diagnose.
Now, accounting officer.
Yes.
First of all, you refer back to your documents, Auditor General report. There is a commentary on the financial statement by the head of accounts. I don't know whether you're on that page 3. So almost all your documents you have numbered page 3. We don't know why. That's for the commentary on financial statements. You have seen? That one.
Okay, the numbering.
Page 3, then the other one page 3, then the other one page 3, then everything is page 3, and you are signing.
Sorry. Sorry, Chairman. Chairperson.
So all the pages are page 3.
Basa?
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, that template, as you input data, it maintains its
It remains like that?
Yes, sir.
So you can't change it?
No, you cannot. The more you input data, the pages remains.
Are you the only institution that is using that template?
All of us are using it, Chair.
So it's the same template given to all the entities, isn't it?
Yes.
But why is it that yours has failed to record the pages correctly? Because we were with the Kavala University the other time, there is no mistake.
Hey.
Chair, we shall contact the Accountant General's office for corrections.
When you are working in the university and you need to be serious. Now, there is this, when you look at the commentary, number 1, 2, I think the last paragraph on your page 3, commentary on the financial statement. There was some money that you were supposed to receive from Gulu University. Let's start with that one, which is also in your query. The receivable.
Chair, this money, 213, has been with us for more than 4 years now?
Yes.
It's now 4 years. This money was borrowed by Gulu when we were still a constituent college. They had some urgent issues to settle, and then they said they would borrow it and refund it. So they borrowed 350 million. Returned
borrowed 300 and what?
350 million. What is now left?
How did they borrow the money?
At that time, there are some urgent issues. That time,
we're saying, how did they borrow the money?
They just came and requested that they had very, it was still controlled by Gulu. The whole system was controlled by Gulu. So they just said, since you are still delaying in using this money, can we use the money and we pay you later? And it has dragged on up to now.
So how did they borrow the money? Is there a written document in terms of that?
We have all the documents.
Do you have the document there? Because this is query number 3.0.
We have it in response. We have all the documents, and then how they paid it. Appendix 4. Appendix 4.
Appendix 4. All right, Mike, you're most welcome. Appendix 4.
Appendix 4. Appendix 4.
I'm not seeing it coming up. We want to know how this university, the requisition they made, all the documentation regarding the borrowed money.
Appendix 4? Yeah, Appendix 4. Appendix 4.
Before we come to why are they not paying, let's first understand how they got before this. So we start from, is there any written document from Gulu University, to Lira University? On this day, we are here, we are 3.0. 3.0 receivables.
Yeah, I think that time, the Vice Chancellor, the accounting, the Bassa, came and that's where I said earlier, they were really in a fix. The money was in our account. So they said, if you can use this money in the next quarter, you shall be able to pay.
Sorry?
They requested that they use the money.
What we are saying, can you get that letter of request? Where they have written the request, and then we want to understand how it was approved. Was there an approval by the board? And if it was approved by the board, what was the term and conditions of the borrowing? And now if we can understand the terms and conditions of the borrowing, then now we'll also know the time frame that they were supposed to have paid that money back. Because now it should have been stipulated in the terms and conditions of borrowing. Accounting officer? Yes.
Bassa, can you come in? But there's a letter which was written from Gulu on the November 23rd, 2015 on internal borrowing. Is it in there? Written here, reference is made to the internal borrowing from the University College, Lira University, 350 million.
Where is the letter?
It's part of appendix.
Okay, appendix what?
4.
This page 1 and 2. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Was this a request or is a reference letter you are writing to follow up?
They were writing now to acknowledge.
No, we want to understand. We want to get the other one from the university requesting first. We want to go systematically. Number one, we need this letter from the university. For letter from Gulu University.
Acknowledging the 350.
Not acknowledging, asking for requesting to borrow. To borrow, how much money? 300 and what? 350 million from Lira University. Then I want to seek to understand how this money was approved. Was there a board meeting?
Yeah, that time Gulu was the one receiving all the money, and the accounting officer was in Gulu. Lira had no accounting officer at that time. Everything was done in Gulu, and so they just had the problem, and then they came, said, we have money, can we lend us, we shall pay.
So who was that person who accepted from Lira University to give money for Lira University to Gulu University? Honorable Moses, you're most welcome.
At that time, I think
who authorized?
Chair, Honorable Chair and members, that time the operations of a college were under the university. But it was having independent transactions, collections on the college account, and but the whole accountability of these funds were under Gulu University, because the college was under Gulu University. So it was internal borrowing. As a mother university, the college under the university had issues. The college had this man. In fact, this man was supposed to construct a theater for the maternity that we had constructed.
You know, accounting officer, certainly money that have always been released, there is a purpose, and we know the purpose. The purpose is always authentic, genuine, because we will have budgeted for it and we will have approved that you should use that money for that purpose. What we are asking is, how did Gulu University get to borrow this money internally? Who authorized it? Who approved it? Because now you see, there are quite a number of elements here. We are looking at the issue of diversion of funds from one budget item to another. You see the point? We don't know whether that money, specifically the 350, was meant to be borrowed by Gulu University. If it was not meant to be borrowed by Gulu University, who actually lent that money to Gulu University? Who is that person who lent money to Gulu University? And with whose permission? This is what we want to find out. We can't just say, you know, because Lira University, Lira was already a college. And a college is an authentic, independent, semi-autonomous entity. We own its budget line, we own its methods of operation, the staffing. So they have their own system. So you can't say because it was still under Gulu University, and Gulu University had the prerogative of borrowing money from Lira University, from the college. I don't think that's correct. So we are asking, how did it come about? Who raised the issue of the borrowing? Is it the accounting officer in Gulu University? Did they write to who? Whom did they write to? That you know, you need to give us Lira University this amount of money we want to borrow because we are not using this amount of money. So let's borrow, then we pay back. Who wrote to who to request for this borrowing? And who approved the borrowing? This is what we want to get out. We are not concerned about the money, how the money was supposed to be used, whether in construction or what. Accounting officer.
According to what we got on record, is that the bursar and the deputy bursar came from Gulu and informed the students. At that time we did not have a bursar.
No, we did not have.
The bursar, everything was operated from Gulu. Accounting officer, bursar, all these are from Gulu. That's why they are talking of internal borrowing. They borrowed as if it is their money in Gulu, internal. Not that he was almost in Lira. Lira did not have accounting officer, did not have a bursar. Everything, payment of salaries, everything was done from Gulu.
So they just diverted this money. In other words, we can't call it borrowing.
Chair.
The money was just diverted. It was not borrowing. This 350 million, which was meant, you know, this money was meant for Lira University. But because they were still settling themselves, the science money that was meant for construction, Gulu University now claims that they borrowed money from Lira University to use it in their own.
Chair. I'm Wariomu Monica Moses, member of Parliament for Kaduma County a member of Public Accounts Committee. Chair, I think the accounting officer was not clear because the way he was telling us that the bursar just came in and he told them. Do we have any documents that the bursar came with documents from Guru indicating that maybe they are getting this from Guru University to be used in Lira University, or it was just a verbal communication?
You see, Lira was not controlling the money. Gulu was the one controlling the money. I think what they came to inform the Vice Chancellor that they are going to use this money. And they turned it into borrowing.
Accounting officer, I'm not refuting that, but I'm saying, was it a verbal communication?
Yes.
Or was?
I think it was verbal.
It was just verbal communication.
I think it was verbal. Because we from the document, these are the documents that we managed to retrieve on this issue. The first one. These are all the documents that we managed to retrieve, but we did not get that one. So we assume it was actually verbal. They did not write to the VC. No, that time was the principal.
So, accounting officer, are you trying to tell us that you just sit and talk like another layman and then you start implementing things without having documents to support your budget?
Chair, this is like the situation when we joined now and we got those documentation, we found there was 350 million which was borrowed. Already, we joined in later, it was already borrowed by Gulu. But they accepted, that's why they kept on writing, we are going to pay you. And they kept on paying from 350, remained 213. It was like a mutual relationship at that time, because they are the ones controlling the money. They can, as the chair said, they can divert, they can do what they want. But for us, we did our best to come and trace this money. When we joined the bursar, we said that there was our money for Lira University, 350, which was borrowed by Gulu. So we started picking all these documents, and we wrote to them. They paid some, and this is what is left, is what they have not paid. I think we tried our best as a new institution.
Yes, Honorable Peter.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Ochen Peter. I represent the people of Kole South, Kole District. Chair, I want to know from the accounting officer if there is some commitment by the Kulu University to that extent that they commit themselves to paying this money. And we would also want to know the schedule for this payment, because you cannot just say they have paid this much and the remainder is this one without the schedule.
Thank you very much, Honorable. If you look at our appendix 4, look at appendix 4, we have even some there where they have scheduled out to pay. Yeah, and then there is the commitment which they wrote, the 350. Yeah. Except we have not numbered them. Appendix 4. They're all in.
I think, yes. Please go ahead.
Yes.
Let's go to the very last.
You keep on.
We are going to get confused here.
We tried actually our best. If you look at we pick the minutes from the Business and Finance Committee. And look at that in that appendix. They gave us a schedule how they were going to pay. How they are going to pay from the internal borrowing. Maybe for the Honorable Chen, if you look at it, we have no number, but there is what we have put there, November to the university secretary from University Basa. This is good. Date November 23rd, and it is talking of the internal borrowing. Well, they were considering it internal borrowing because Lira University was a constituent college. It's like you would borrow from a faculty. So I think you could look at those ones and you see how they.
But yeah, my empathy is when you borrow now, these people have committed themselves. When are they going to pay this money in full? Is what I meant by schedules.
What they said, they actually made a schedule if you look back, but they have not been able to honor this schedule. If you look back, signed by, that person signing is called Kamuto, is what is the Basa's office.
Chair, I want
So they have put a schedule which they have not. We went ahead reminding them.
Just 1 minute. Yes. You get your pen and then a notebook and be very attentive. When the members are asking questions, you note it down, then you'll be asked to respond after, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Michael Tsime. I'm a member of Parliament from Barara City and a member of this committee. Chair, I'm sorry for coming late, but I wanted Chair to take me up to speed in regard to that amount being referred to. Auditor General, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know whether you are referring to the 359 million.
Through Chair, the 350 million shillings that is being reported in the financial statements is different.
You're not audible. You're not audible.
Oh, my apologies, sir. The 350 million shillings that is being reported in the correspondences 200 is different from what we reported about.
Is it different from
what you are reporting about?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That being the case, Mr. Chairman, I'm of the view that before we consider the schedule and commitment of that money being paid back, we address our minds to the law in regard to the authority of borrowing and lending. We need to know, Mr. Accounting Officer, whether you have competence of answering where you picked authority to lend money of an institution to another entity, who sought permission, who granted you the authority, then we shall go to the recovery of the monies.
You take note of that.
It's okay.
Accounting Officer.
Yes.
Are you competent enough to respond to this?
What honorable member has raised, see, from 350, they have reduced to 213. I think in the financial statement it's 213. If you look at our
Accounting Officer, what they're asking is not you to explain. But before we go to the issue of the schedule, they want to ask whether we actually followed the rightful procedure of borrowing that money. Whether Lira University is even the capacity to lend this money to an entity, even if it is considered internal borrowing, because then that is now going against the plan activities, the plan outputs, and also the overall execution of the budget that was approved by Parliament. You see what I'm saying?
I think, Chair, this was a wrong. It was a wrong procedure by Igulu to take that money and said we are going to borrow it, and then only inform the person who was a principal in Lira. The whole thing was controlled by Igulu, so they said here they are putting internal borrowing.
Who was the accounting officer? Who was the
accounting officer that time?
Igulu.
Who was the accounting officer?
Okotogola. It's now retired.
He's retired. Mr. Chairman, I think we need to note.
Okotogola. It was a Lira University bus.
No. This Lira University was a constituent college. The accounting officer was based in Gulu.
Was in
Constituent College of Gulu.
So Okotogola was a
so Lira, it's constituent college more or less like a faculty. We will talk of just taking the money and giving to Lira.
Who was the accounting officer?
That's what I said, Ugola. Cost.
So he's the one who lent money.
Cost Ugola.
Chair.
I want you to relax. You relax.
Yes.
I think you are not relaxed. We are trying to go very slowly and.
I'm sorry, Chair.
Very nice.
Can you invite them to a cup of?
Yeah, you take some coffee. Just relax. This is a conversation, not necessarily to pin you down.
You see, my brother.
And when they ask a question, you just be very specific.
That's what I said. As a team who came later, we did our best to follow up this money. To get these documents, some we got from Gulu, some we got from Lira. It was easy. And the last letter we wrote here was to Permanent Secretary Treasury, alerting him that this money was with Gulu. Would they get away? How do we get this money now from Gulu? If you follow our statement.
Chair, I want to remind that there is a question which you asked, which was asked by Honorable Michael, that are you competent enough to answer this query?
Correct.
Which was not answered.
What I'm saying, we are confident enough to present these documents, which we found that money was taken by Gulu, and Gulu here accepted that they had this internal borrowing. It is very confident. We have this document.
You know, let me help you. One, this has been a persistent matter in your accounts. We are not blaming you, but we want to appreciate the circumstances that led your entity to this situation and solve this matter. We must begin with inception. Who borrowed? Who paid out? Who authorized? Who was the accounting officer? There may be need to invite the person who did that. So don't struggle to carry a load that is not yours. It just be calm. You say, we found this matter here. We are interrogating whether it was a legal transaction. We want to know the purpose and the effect of lending. What happened now to those activities that had been planned for? Because I can see an entity cannot lend money when it has a stock of outstanding commitments. You understand?
Yes.
So why I asked whether you had the competence to answer was to find out if, first of all, you partook in the exercise. It would have been easier for you to say, no, the beginning of this thing I was not there. So that we can refer it to a person who was there. We are not denying the documents, we shall receive them. But we want to solve this matter. These are public funds. So can I rephrase? And it might help you. You are not the accounting officer by then. Any money, any public money borrowed or lent out, there must be procedures and there is a law that regulates public finances. I am struggling to find, it is incumbent upon you to tell me whether you think they followed the law. If they didn't, that's another matter. Then we skip it. The person who didn't follow the law will be sanctioned at an appropriate time. Then now we shall go to the recoveries, which you have endeavored to do what? It's very easy. So in your opinion, as an accounting officer, do you think the law was followed?
I've already stated earlier that according to this internal borrow, whereas we think the law was not followed.
Okay.
Because this was money meant for other things. And they specified here very clearly.
So I think basically that's diversion now.
This is just, they put here internal borrowing.
Which I think, Honorable Tumisime, may appear in the audit query of Guru University as diversion. But now, let us come back to the Auditor General queries here. You were supposed to get back this money. You were supposed to